Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I hope that you were all here early enough to see whatever was happening on that side of the table, because it was spectacular. But as you can see and could see by all of the strong motions and more you knows and all that stuff, we have Dane Beltrami with us here today. And I am, as always, Josh Massey. So, thank you for coming here for our TI stream. And yes, I'm saying TI for a reason. We have a few things to talk to you guys about today. First, we're going to talk about a new product from one of our partners. We're super excited for that. Then, we are going to talk about the next three factions. We've got some questions.
Ghosts of Creuss.
Yep.
Vuil'raith Cabal, and the Brotherhood.
Those ones, yeah. Of course. I mean, I have them all listed here, I know that. But thank you for letting them know, because they don't know.
I just wanted to talk. I felt like it was awkward if I didn't say anything.
Fair. It wasn't awkward with the foot stomping earlier.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about foot stomps. I feel like we could write a song about that.
Okay.
Maybe we should.
New band name.
So yes, we are going to talk about those factions, and I do have to say I love some of the questions. I appreciate anybody who sent in the most fun ones, and you'll all know what we're talking about when we get there. But then after that, we do have a special announcement we're very excited for today. So we will get there when we get there. So first and foremost, we are going to talk about a new book from Aconite Books. We are going to be showing you the cover in just a second here for The Stars Beyond, which is an anthology. So this book is going to have 6 short stories contained within. And yeah, we're just super excited for that. We're super excited for them. And this, while it is a special announcement, I do want to remind everybody, this isn't the special announcement for today, okay? We've got something even bigger from us later. But we are doing something special with this. And because we love our friends at Aconite, we have the trilogy of books. We have The Fractured Void, Necropolis Empire, and The Veiled Masters. And we are going to be giving those to one lucky viewer today. So we need you to go into the comments to be entered for this contest. And you need to write the word, what random word, inscription? Let's do inscription. Type the word inscription. I think that, because it's not an easy one to spell for everyone, we're going to throw that into the chat for you. Type that in, and you will be entered into this contest to receive those 3 books. So that's our little thank you for joining us today. Now, let's get into this, Dane.
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
Oh, so ready.
Good. Because after reading through these, I am so ready as well. So we don't have these in any particular order. We're not just covering one of these factions at a time. We're just going down the list. So we have a question from Kyle Hagen. I don't know. It's Kyle. Thanks, Kyle. We appreciate you. So, which came first for the Vuil'raith? Theme or mechanics?
It was kind of a little bit of both. The initial pitch was actually from a coworker of mine, Todd, who was talking about the idea of having a cult that worshipped a single giant uncontrollable monster that would rove around the galaxy during. So it was kind of pitched as a theme and mechanic together, but that kind of turned into what we have now, which is there is a cult aspect, but it's actually a whole bunch of monsters from another dimension as the single uncontrollable monster idea. Well, novel and kind of hilarious, didn't quite fit into the game itself mechanically.
It's fair.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you expanded on that, because just saying both won't work for any of these.
No.
So when I ask you a question, don't just say yes or both.
Okay.
We need more. That was good. I was very concerned when you were just like, both.
No, they
oh boy.
come on.
Moving on.
Have some faith.
I do have faith. And everybody out there has faith in you too. Maybe even more than me.
That's good. That's alarming. That's misplaced.
Or I don't have much faith.
That's fair.
One or the other. All right, next one is from Philip Corda. Are these 3 factions going to get some kind of alliance?
No. I'm assuming that question means in in the story are these three alliances somehow related. And no, they weren't chosen entirely randomly. But no, there's no reason that these three are particularly associated with one another.
Right.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that timeline of release and things are thematically.
It was more just like they're all kind of enigmatic and a little bit strange.
Right.
Yeah.
So just so everybody's aware, on the back end, when we're planning this stuff, I say, hey, Dane, tell me what 3 we should do next.
And then I say the first thing that comes to my head.
There it is. That is all the effort that goes into this. There's no secret meaning until there is a secret meaning that I don't even know about, or an unintentional secret meaning that Dane then comes up with later.
Yeah.
So if that happens, great, but not intended that way. All right, cool. We've got another one from James Tolbert. I've always wondered. James is I. I am not I.
I got
in
it.
this instance.
Thank you, Josh.
You're welcome. Why did the Yin and Necro switch their flagship abilities between 3rd and 4th edition? In 3rd edition, the Necro had the Yin's flagship ability and vice versa.
Yeah, this is a question we've gotten before, I don't think everybody knows the answer to this one. So basically, what was told to me from Corey was that when designing TI3, they were switched as well, and the swap actually happened on accident during TI3 development. So the TI3 flagship for the Necro blew up, and which makes sense. And then the TI3 flagship for the Yin let the ground forces fight in space, which didn't actually make a lot of sense because
Right.
they're just people. They're just humans.
Right.
So it was actually supposed to be the opposite. So the Yin flagship is the one that is supposed to explode as like a much bigger version of some of their smaller abilities, and then the Necro, being robots, they have like ground forces that can
Right.
transform, I guess, or just be in space because they're robots, not people.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you fixed it.
I just switched it back.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I switched it back.
Okay. Cool. All right. This next one is solid. I'm very excited for this one. This is from Alan Spillhouse. It is a given that playing the Cabal is like going to the all-you-can-eat buffet in Vegas and getting a tummy ache. Your eyes are bigger than your tummy, and excitement takes hold. Playing Ghosts is like going to the supermarket and shopping for dinner ingredients, but you don't know what you're cooking. So many aisles and paths, but little direction, and one gets lost easily. What is playing Yin like for you?
For me,
So good.
I don't really play Yin all that much.
No
It's
cop-outs
okay. Playing Yin is like wanting to be everybody's friend, but on the inside, you're a hammer. And the more ships that are gathered in one place, the more it starts to look like a nail, and you just want to go blow them up
Okay.
or hammer it in. Yeah.
All right. I approve of that. And Alan, I approve of you. Thank you for that question. All right. Moving on. This is another one. Matthew Provisor? Sorry. Do you know Matthew?
I know Matt,
Okay. So, Matt asks.
and I'm afraid.
Between these 3 factions, assuming equal data can be collected and proper control groups formed, why is Dane so handsome?
All right, moving on.
So, I do want to remind everybody that when you're asking these questions, Dane is the one answering them. So maybe if we had somebody else around, you know what? Maybe we'll pull somebody in towards the end of the stream, and I will ask them the same question and see what they think.
Good.
We'll do that for you, just to hear what other people think
So
about Dane's
excited. Thank you.
level of attractiveness. Good job, Dane.
Thank you.
All right, so this is from Monty Crisply. When designing Cabal as a whole, and especially the space docks, what was the design goal? How did such a wild faction come about?
Well, I wanted to not. What I wanted was that feeling of the space docks being like a window into another dimension, And originally I'd actually used something that was more akin to like the Creuss ability, which is like connecting wormholes.
Right.
And so the very, very, very original pre-alpha design was actually that the space docks were connected as a single dimension, like outer dimension kind of thing. But that started to feel too specific to, like it felt too similar to the Creuss. So instead, I was just kind of looking at the mechanics available, and gravity rifts were, the next closest thing to wormholes that felt thematically appropriate. And then, of course, there wasn't really a faction that interacted with those yet, so I was like, oh, okay, well, let's try it with all the space docks being gravity rifts, and that ended up being super fun. So, yeah, I just kind of ran with it at that point.
Okay.
Just kind of ran with it is actually the...
Just go.
Just ends up being the answer to a lot of questions like that. Yeah.
Okay, so, sorry about the distractions. I didn't mean to. We've got something we might need to cover in just a second.
Uh-oh.
So, this is either from several people or from a person named Vuil'raith Cabal.
Okay, thanks,
Okay?
Josh.
I don't know which it is. If it's a person named Vuil'raith, I'd feel really bad just pronouncing their name terribly wrong.
Remember I was telling you earlier about secondhand embarrassment, Josh?
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
cool.
But, as you're well aware, there is no first-hand embarrassment from this guy.
Yes.
All right, so Vuil'raith says, and I'm going to keep doing this just for you. What exactly is a Vuil'raith? Are the Vuil'raith indeed big dinosaurs, Cthulhu-esque horrors? Or is that only how people portrayed them due to the impossible Lovecraftian figures of their beings?
As far as what they are, I mean, they are huge monsters of extreme variety and insatiable hunger. As far as like what their home dimension is like and what if there's a structure or a meaning or an origin to them, it's not information that we're like ready to reveal yet about the Vuil'raith. So,
Okay.
but they really are monsters. I mean, they really are, humongous, almost nearly Lovecraftian looking creatures with just a crazy amount of variety. Like there's no two that are the same.
Okay, cool. So this is, oh no, I'm gonna annihilate this name. Labonamars, maybe. That's the Twitter handle. Is there something other than being on live streams with me that you could remove from the game at this point? the live stream part with me was not part of the question.
Not really. There's because I make so many like jokey comments. There's been misunderstandings in the past that I actually like regret the Necro or like the way that the Necro virus turned out in TI4 or anything like that because they caused so many rules questions. But no, I don't think there's any one particular thing that I wish I could remove. Some things make me sad, actually, but that's it.
Okay,
I'm always sad to see the way that some people use support for the throne, which is a card in TI4 that allows that player to like give another player a victory point, basically.
Right.
And there's some like kind of like not very sportsman like uses of that card that I don't love.
Okay.
But other than that, no, there's not anything I would really delete.
Okay.
But I say that a lot in the community. I say like #delete, and then I just put something there, and then people are just like, "Oh, Dane hates this," and it's like, okay, I don't actually.
Right. It's good to know. So, Dane, as you may not have picked up, but I will tell you, likes to have fun.
That's true.
So, don't take anything he says seriously, but take even less that I say seriously.
Conversely, you can take everything I say seriously because I'm always serious.
And now I don't believe that was serious.
Exactly. This is actually the problem. My everything.
Yeah, with your everything.
With my everything. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on then. So this one is from Michael Keane. Vuil'raith. What is a Vuil'raith's favorite snack?
People.
What kind of people? Like human people or
All
just
people. Well,
other
okay.
people?
You have your vegetarian Vuil'raith.
Okay,
who,
okay, got it.
Who only eat arborec.
Fair.
And then you have like your like the strange addiction Vuil'raith who only eat like the titans and the necrovirus. It's just like the metal.
Right.
And then you have your carnivores and
standard,
omnivores who just eat people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
All right.
That was an example of a joke.
Hey, there it is.
I wasn't serious.
Okay, so this is still from Michael Keane. So that was Vuil'raith. Ghosts. How does ghost sensory perception work? If I showed a ghost a meme, would it laugh?
So, okay, we've kind of touched on this before in the lore a little bit, but I mean, yeah, a ghost. Ghosts, some ghosts, they do have individual personalities. You know, they are individual sentient entities. Some ghosts try really hard to understand other cultures, and they will go so far as to learn language. They'll try to integrate. They'll try to have these interactions when they're interacting with people from a certain culture. Like when ambassadors come to visit, they'll like try to make things that they think will make that person feel at home, but it's always like wrong, right? Like they clearly don't get it. So I think that's basically extrapolate that to showing a Creuss a meme would be that the Creuss would just not really get it, or it would be like when you have like a user or an AI generated script or joke or something like that. It's just like it's like using all the right words, but nothing is really hitting. It's off.
Got it. So even if it's not a good meme versus a great meme,
no, the ghost wouldn't be able to tell.
Okay.
Maybe there's like a ghost meme though, and the ghost would get it, and then they'd try to explain it to us, and then we would just have no idea.
Got it.
Yeah.
So they may have their own memes. Good to know.
They have their own memes. It's true.
All right. Still with Michael. Michael had a bunch of stuff, so now we're on to the yin. After a long day of holding Darian's legacy, what does the average yin do to unwind? Do all yin share a proclivity for certain hobbies?
Yin are human, I guess is the answer to that question. So, I mean, a yin could develop to have the same hobbies that any human has. Admittedly, their culture is a bit more austere. They all share the same genetic code, so perhaps they have predispositions, but they're human. So
okay,
yeah,
perfect. All right, still with Michael. Back to the Vuil'raith.
Okay.
This one's a little more serious, I think.
All right.
Do the peoples of the galaxy suspect any connection between the Vuil'raith and the one between the stars that the Sar revere?
Yeah. Why do I feel like this came up recently as well? I can't remember. Do the people of the galaxy suspect this? No. This is not a connection I think that has been drawn. I mean, maybe there's somebody out there who has he's in some alleyway screaming about the end times who gets it.
Right.
But no, I think that's a connection that we draw we draw or are supposed to draw as the outside observers, that may or may not be confirmed or touched upon ever, but there's that question there. It's like, is this the same thing? But in universe, that's not something that's just like your average Joe would expect.
Okay.
Or suspect, rather.
Fair.
Or expect, either.
Any of the specs.
Any of the specs.
Yes.
Respect.
Oh, respecking.
Yeah.
Don't do that. All right, so last one for Michael. Back to the ghosts.
Okay.
When the Mahak enthralled the ghosts who woke them, was it through gene sorcery, techno sorcery, or something else? TLDR, do ghosts have a genetic code?
They don't have DNA, so
Okay.
no. The technology that the Mahact used to control them is not the same that they, used to make and direct the Titans in the old times or whatever. It's all derived from similar technology, but it's not like the genetic modification that they are known for or familiar with.
Okay. Cool. All right. 2 more questions, both from John Drake. And it's another Vuil'raith question, which this is John's first question, so he must have seen other Vuil'raith questions. Are the Vuil'raith flesh ships, distinct independent organisms, like an Eldritch Abomination version of Totoro's cat bus? Or are they machine-like, literally just ships that happen to be made of living tissue instead of something like metal?
They are singular entities. Like they're fully alive. They're not metal. I wouldn't necessarily say that they're autonomous. Like they are maybe controlled by a controller or some kind of connected mind or something like that. Like they're not just like ooh, snack, and then
Right,
just
they're
like
not their own sentient beings, but they are
like driving off or whatever.
Right.
But they are individual entities. They are unique. They are alive. They are not machines.
okay. Perfect. All right. Okay. Sorry, I read that as an. So Darian von Haug acquired ancient Mahact biostudies, leading to eventual breakthroughs in biosciences, leading to the creation of the Brotherhood. Given that the Yin Order is ultimately based on Mahact secrets, what is their view of the Mahact?
So, maybe unique to almost all the other factions, except for maybe like the Titans and the Argent Flight, who are intrinsically connected to the Mahact and thus know them really closely. The Yin probably have the deepest understanding of what Mahact tech is and can do. And I think as a result, that would just make them more afraid of the Mahact. So they have definitely a very deep respect for Mahact tech and how terrifying it is. I think that as a faction, they are probably, at the forefront of like throwing up like danger, this is really bad, like that the Mahact are here, this is terrible. They also have, I would imagine, one of the highest stakes in actually understanding Mahact technology and getting it and reverse engineering it, because their whole gray fire disease, I would think they would have the highest interest in having that tech. Them and the Creuss. The Creuss to reverse whatever happened to the Crimson Legionnaires, and the Yin, because they might actually be able to use it to reverse the effects of gray fire, which they've been trying to do for as long as they've existed. The other thing they've been trying to do since as long as they've existed is what their, the work of their original founder, Darian van Heg, and to like, bring back his wife or whatever, and they've never been able to make they're all clones of the same male of that original clone. So I feel like there could also very easily be like a splinter faction that is trying to like bring Mo Yin back using Mahact tech or something like that, which could be a really cool story to explore. But yeah, they have a healthy respect for Mahact, a healthy, terrifying respect.
Okay, perfect.
Or terrified respect. Yeah.
So you might think that we're done here because I said 2 more questions.
Yes, you did.
But it looks like there were a couple from you in the chat.
All right.
So, do individual Necro have free will?
They collectively
putting you on the spot here.
have the same free will. They're connected to the same like mind. They do have free will, but they don't all have the same. They all have the same goal.
Right.
Yeah. Do they have individual free will? Yeah. I think they do. I think they have individual free will. But the virus it takes over. Like it connects them all together. Once you're part of the virus, you're part of the virus. I feel like you could become separated from the virus, and then maybe if there's like two different like sections of the virus, they could start to grow and change independently. But for that to really make them extremely different, a huge amount of time would have to pass. Like, I think they have free. Like each individual entity has free will, but they are all operating in synergy with one another.
Okay, cool. Last one. We only had 2 from the chat. Are yin sorted into professions or callings at birth?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you. And
Thank me.
Everyone.
You're welcome.
Ooh,
They're
there is
laughing
one
over
more.
there.
There is one more.
Space Cats, Peace Turtles.
Of course it is.
Thank you. Thank you, Space Cats. Dane, do you have individual free will? Or is Josh controlling you like a puppet?
Send help.
Both hands are here. I'm not in control. But I'm not saying that nobody else is in control.
No, unfortunately, I have free will. That has not worked out for me in the past. So, sign me up for whatever kind of necro hive mind you got planned.
All right. Thank you. And thanks for all the chuckles over there. I'm hoping that they could hear that as you were messaging me with that question. All right, cool. So now that we're done with these, we'll join you, for the next 3 factions soon. But before we get there, and before we finish up this stream, we have a surprise for everybody. So let's jump right into that.
Howdy.
There's no audio, they're saying.
Oh, now there's audio.
Hey.
Oh, you missed the whole bit with the mask and the stuff. We were so
Shucks.
close. That's okay. So, you're not Dane.
No,
What are you doing here, James?
I'm James. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Niffin.
James Niffin. I was going to get there, but what are you doing here?
I designed Twilight Inscription.
You designed the video, or the
Yeah,
game that video was made on.
I wanted to tell you a little bit about
Ooh,
it.
so let's talk about it. So,
Right.
as James said, this is James Niffin, and he's going to be joining us for the remainder of the stream. We're super excited to have you.
Thank you.
So, let's get into this. I have
All right.
some questions for you. So, this game is not a typical FFG game. This, in the trailer, it said it's an epic roll and write.
That's right.
Why? Why a roll and write?
Why? Well, because I love roll and writes.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair.
Probably over the past 3 years, that's become like my absolute favorite type of game.
Okay.
Bar none.
So, Yahtzee. You just play Yahtzee every
All day. Yep, I played outside in the sand and the beach. I draw my own sheets. It's great. Yeah, I've played like probably 40 different ones over the past 3 years, and I'm so obsessed with them now. And
Okay.
I just had to make one.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Uh-huh.
So we know now why it's a roll and write.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you've been playing roll and writes like a lot for the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been working on this project specifically?
I mean, as usual, it takes a while to make a game.
Right.
It's, you know, a good year or more. I sort of pitched a few ideas back towards the start of the pandemic.
Okay.
And Twilight Inscription was just sort of a, what if we did Twilight Imperium as a roll and write game? And then it was almost a joke to begin with. Like,
Okay.
haha, we would never do that. We've never even made a roll and write
An
game before.
8-hour roll and write?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
And then it just sort of it planted a seed in my mind, and I thought, hey, actually that could work. What if we made it the biggest one ever?
Yeah, we'll get into that momentarily. Awesome. Okay, so I mean, you kind of explained it a little bit, but I mean, I have the question written down, so I'm going to ask it. So why did we end up with TI specifically?
Sure. We hadn't made a new Twilight Imperium game in quite a long time. New edition, not
Yep.
included, of course.
Yep.
So it was high on our list of things to do. And when we thought about roll and writes and the kind of roll and write that FFG would make, it would need to be big. And what is bigger than Twilight Imperium? That would set it apart from everything else that's out there.
Yeah.
So that is the primary reason. It's also full of content.
Yep.
It's full of fun things to do.
Yeah.
Why not?
You've got a big old backstory you can roll with, so roll with. That was unintentional. So follow-up question to that. So this is TI, obviously, Twilight Inscription. It's in the Twilight Imperium universe.
That's right.
Knowing that you would have to work with Dane when designing this game, did that help or hurt that decision to actually work in this universe?
You know, I was so excited to work with him because he owes me.
That's so
'Cause,
much sweeter
yeah.
than anything we talked about leading up to this.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I laid out the Prophecy of Kings rule book for him, so he had to do nice things for me
nice.
the whole
Okay,
time.
okay,
Yeah.
got it. So
Yeah.
he owed
Plus,
you.
I mean,
I mean,
it's-
look at
it's
that.
so
Oh,
good.
that's so sweet.
the secret to his handsomeness, it's the eyebrows.
It's right there. So that was going to be my next question. Is I was going to follow up. I want to see what was the exact wording between these three factions. Assuming equal data can be collected and proper control groups formed, why is Dane so handsome?
It's the eyebrows.
It's the eyebrows.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the eyebrows and the fluttering eyelashes. You can't
Yeah.
really see it on live stream, but it's all beautiful.
Well, but is that aimed at anybody but you? Because I've never seen the fluttering eyelash thing.
you know, I don't feel like we're exclusive, but I appreciate every moment.
Oh my gosh, I love that Dane is still in the room for this. All right, so there is one more question, and just so everybody's aware, we're not officially announcing this game right now. This is a teaser, so we're not giving you a lot of information intentionally. We are still going to be announcing this game like per the usual. We just really wanted to give you a little taste of what's up. Excuse me. Whoa, what's upcoming? I don't know what happened there. So, in the video, we said it's an epic roll and write. You said that you wanted to just make it the biggest roll and write we've ever seen. So, I want you to tell me what makes it big.
Well, you know, it's inspired by 4X games, and 4X games have just so much to do, so many choices. And so I said, well, hey, let's start with an X,
Yeah,
and
so-
let's explore the galaxy
Right.
and see what you can see. And then I thought, let's not stop there. Let's get some planets. Let's see how you treat them. Let's see what you do with them and develop them. And then I thought, oh, how would you develop them?
Oh.
Maybe some industry should get involved.
Oh.
And
Throw the wrong
then
ones
and then I thought, hey, how would you structure it? How would you get everything off of it and turn it into something useful? Create trade, create economy.
Yeah.
And then obviously you have to use all of that stuff or protect all of that stuff. And so
course.
warfare comes into play. Let's throw some Tetris onto there.
This is bananas.
It
by
is
the
a little,
way.
it's a little bananas.
I love it. And I mean, from me and my perspective, like I know I got to play this very early in development still. So I can see that some things have changed. I loved it then. So I'm very excited to actually play it now. Not that I can play this version because this doesn't belong to me. But yeah, I'm super excited for this game. I hope that with what we've given you all today, you at least have a little taste of what this game is and can be. And as I said before, we are very excited to actually give you the full announcement and give you a lot more details like we normally do. We'll clearly have James on more live streams
Soon enough
to talk about it. So we're very excited for it. I hope you're excited for it as well. I mean, the 25th anniversary just keeps on giving, right?
That's right.
I mean, that's why we're here. So very cool. I think that is pretty much it for today. Obviously, we have all of our socials and stuff that you can follow down below and all that jazz. For anybody that did enter our contest, we appreciate it, and we will be reaching out to you directly. So congratulations to whoever that will be down the road. And James, always a thank you to you. Dane, you showed up too. Good job.
I thank you, Dan.
But thank you so much. Like, you know I love having you on. We always have a blast here. So, yeah, thank you to everybody here. Thank you to all of you for joining. We're super excited to tell you even more as the year goes on. And we will see you next time. Bye.